have never desired your good opinion.
People fear what they do not understand.
I have a headache, a badge, and a gun.
Power is yours.
Behave.
I was just trying to start a conversation.
And share the wonders I've seen.
Hi, and welcome back to The Wonders I've Seen, where there's no such thing as weird or normal, there's just different. I'm your host, Tanagra, and today we'll be discussing the film Blade. And I'm joined once again by our lovely guest, our series regular, J-Excks. The crowd goes wild! Welcome back.
Welcome back. I'm a series regular.
I mean, yeah, you are, basically. Well, I guess you don't really... What's your liquid nourishment? Oh, yeah.
I have Thai iced tea.
Excellent choice. And I have water with limon. Yes. And you are also knitting today?
Yeah, I think I was knitting last time.
I think so, too. The scarf is going to be a couple of episodes, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is,
all right.
longest Hufflepuff scarf
in the world.
And I know many Hufflepuffs. So.
You do. And we're all amazing.
I guess so.
Yeah, we are. We're all. I'm gonna claim that for us. Just saying. All right. Anyway, let's talk Blade.
So I'm curious.
Yes.
Why did you pick this for horror?
So I actually had this huge discussion with my producer about this. I never thought about vampires as horror, and she was like, I always thought of them as falling in the supernatural genre, and I always based horror on what happens in the movie or in the medium, right? So if there's like a lot of murder, or if it's like blood and gory, and I guess this is gory, but even then I thought blood and gore was its like own genre, separate from like horror, separate from supernatural horror, right?
I guess those are subgenres, right?
And that's the thing. She was like, no, like vampires, supernatural creatures are all subgenres of horror.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. And she's like, thrillers in some way are like the cousin to horror. And I was like, okay. So then therefore Blade.
Right.
Also, I watch this movie every Halloween and I love it. So it just worked out to also watch it and to show it on Rabbit and to talk about it with you.
Okay.
But I would have like done this in December. I just don't think of it as a horror film, but I don't think I usually don't think about vampires as horror films unless I'm talking like, old black and white Nosferatu. Exactly. Okay. Exactly. I guess I could have done Dracula too, but I was not going to.
Right. I mean, I guess I wouldn't think of like Twilight or True Blood as horror.
But I think some people think of True Blood as horror, but they don't think of Twilight as horror.
Well, Twilight definitely isn't.
Well, I mean, horror in another way.
I shouldn't judge because I've never seen it nor read the books.
So please take note, audience. We will be having a Twilight marathon featuring J-Excks. We'll probably live tweet it out, I'm thinking.
Yeah,
live tweet. Yeah, and we'll have it on Rabbit. No, don't worry. I'll get her. I'll lure her. And it's gonna happen. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Okay. Oh yeah.
But
we'll do it for Valentine's Day, Twilight. Woo! I'm just joking. Those films are horrible. They show such a very unhealthy relationship, no matter what age you are. But anyway, back to the amazing, wonderful, awesomeness that is Blade. I love this film, and I know you do too, which is why you wanted to talk about it.
Yeah, I love Blade.
Yeah.
So I never knew. Well, I shouldn't say I didn't know he was a comic book.
Oh, okay.
Because before I saw it, I was in a comic book store, or somewhere that sold comic books. I don't know if it was an actual store.
That's fair.
I was very anti-comic book store for a while, for other reasons. But
another episode.
Yes. But I saw one of Blade, and I was like, oh, that's weird, black vampire, and then moved on. I never read it or looked into. No, I didn't really look into it or anything. I just saw it and I was like, oh, didn't know it was Marvel. I just saw the book.
Right.
And I was like, oh. So thinking like someone just did this graphic book.
And that was
vampire.
it.
Yeah. Like Blackula.
Yeah.
That?
I do remember Blackula. In all honesty,
and that's what made me think of that. I was like, oh.
I tried to find Blackula to watch during this series. I tried to find Blackula. I'm not even gonna lie. I was like, man, we need to watch that. Maybe watch it another time. But I was definitely trying to find Blackula for this. Instead, we got Blade, y'all. Yeah,
probably the better option.
It is. It is. Yeah, I didn't know Blade was a comic book either when I first saw it. I was just like, ooh, Black Vampire, that's cool. Because like up till then, I think, because this was after Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah.
So right before, I think it was.
I can't remember when.
Maybe when I was allowed to watch it might have been, because I know I was too young to watch Blade when it came out. I'm pretty sure I still did, because my father was a huge Wesley Snipes fan.
Well, Blade came out in 99.
And I'm pretty sure Interview came out like 93, 94. Yeah.
I feel like it came.
Yeah. So the idea of vampire was like always like lily white skin, pretty person. And then like.
Maybe it came out in 96. Back when Brad Pitt
No,
it
was not 96 because 96, 97, that was all Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet. I know because I printed out the pictures and had them up. Like, anyway, that's a whole nother thing. It was definitely before that. So I think it was 94, 95. But yeah, that was the image of vampires, right? It was like pretty Tom Cruise and pretty bad Brad Pitt, like you said, when he was still pretty. And then Blade comes along and he's like, I'm going to kick ass and I'm black. And I was like, well, okay. Like, I can cheer for this. Because I remember people used to say stupid crap like, and they even said it when Twilight came out, right? Like, how can a black person be a vampire? You're like, well, vampires come from humans. There are black humans. Therefore, there are black vampires. Like, there's just sort of this disconnect that, like, you could be a vampire and not be white. And I love that Blade came along. And not only was he black, but he was just awesome. And this film is so amazing. Like,
that's interesting. So, I don't know if I didn't really think that deeply into it with Blade.
But I did have an older sister who was obsessed with Interview with the Vampire and vampires, so I'll be honest, that's probably why I was more aware of it.
Okay. I was more into it because it was an action film starring Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So, after, what's that film where he's running away from the U.S. Marshal? Is that called Marshals?
I think it's called Marshals, yeah.
And, after Passenger 57, was that Passenger 57?
Is it Passenger 57?
I think it is.
I think so.
Okay. I used to watch all the Wesley Snipes movies.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, okay, this is another one. And he's playing a vampire? Okay, whatever.
Right.
It just kind of went along with his other films, and I liked his other films.
Because he was an action hero, I feel. Right? Like, I didn't associate him with like the geek genre. I don't even really think I thought of the geek genre as a genre in all honesty when Blade was out. It was just...
Oh, I definitely did not.
Yeah, it was just like, oh, it's an action film and he's a vampire. Right, that was
I didn't think of it as geek genre. Well,
I don't even think I thought of myself by that word in all honesty until like recently. Like, I am a geek. That really wasn't a thing.
Definitely did not.
Yeah. I just had these other things.
Even with my whole... I would say even with geeky stuff that I like, because I'm thinking 99, this is when I would hide in the back of Barnes & Nobles and look at comic book trades.
Yeah.
Because again, my comic book store issue.
No, but also Barnes and Nobles carried them, right? Yeah. Like, Bookstop had them. You didn't have to go to a comic book store.
And they had them in trades, And, Star Wars came out then.
The new episodes.
The prequels. And, I was still into anime and all of that, but I did not put this movie in with the rest of that stuff.
You say that, and I guess I just thought of it as, like...
I thought it was...
Black Vampire. That was it.
No, I didn't even think it was a cool Wesley Snipes movie. That was it.
Yeah.
I went to see it with my dad because my dad was a big Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, so was mine, which is probably why I got to watch it when I was younger. But I had to watch it at home. But that's awesome.
I think I was in my 20s then, so
okay.
I could have seen.
You could have seen it by yourself, is what you're saying. Yeah. I could not have.
I graduated from college that year, so.
Okay. Yeah. But you're right. I didn't put it in that same category. It was just.
Yeah, it was just a movie, and it wasn't until I think a few years later I was going through some Marvel comic book stuff, and I saw Blade, and I was like, "Oh, there's like a whole series of this." And
he's popular.
And I said, "Oh, I'm gonna start reading these," and that's when I read. So I read the books after I saw the movie.
So now, if that was your introduction to him, was the movie and then the books, did you ever watch the TV show or the animated? Like, because there's the live action TV show and then there's the animated one as well. Obviously, the animated one was significantly later.
I had a TV situation also in the early 2000s where I missed a lot of television. Okay. I mean, part of it was that it wasn't in the country, and then and then another part was just I don't know. I didn't have access to television. Yeah. So. Okay. And also living with a very small child makes you watch a lot of Disney.
I mean, Disney is wonderful. There will also be a Disney episode. Right. But yeah, you're definitely not going to be watching like Blade. No. It wasn't bad. Maybe we'll watch a few episodes, but it definitely. I'll be honest, I think one of the reasons it didn't last as long was because the guy was not as charismatic as Wesley Snipes. Like, there's a certain level of charisma that Wesley Snipes brings to it, and that he goes really well between that, the humor of the character and also just being, like, really serious and being badass, and then the trauma.
Well, Wesley Snipes is also pretty charismatic himself.
But that's what I'm saying. But he brings that all to the character, and, like, even the trauma of like his mom dying, right? Like, and he plays that really well. Like, he's also just a good actor. But the show wasn't like poorly written. It just didn't draw you in the same way.
I didn't even know there was a TV show.
I watched it because it was also on around the same time that they did the Witchblade television show.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe I just didn't have that.
They weren't. I don't know.
Maybe it was just wasn't on my radar for whatever reason. It
also wasn't on for very long, and I feel like they might have promoted Witchblade a little bit more. Like, they were trying out it was when the strong female superhero thing was, still popular. Somewhere in the same time that was it the CWE? Exactly. That's right. So yeah, I don't think Blade got as much of attention as it could have, and then maybe they just realized the guy was no Wesley Snipes. Right. Which I just remember being like, why didn't they just hire Wesley Snipes?
He doesn't want to do television. I mean, back then
I guess it was like, oh no,
movie stars wouldn't have gone back to do TV. I think that's more of a recent thing.
Yeah, I guess so. It would have been a better show.
Okay. Yeah, and then I saw an episode of Spider-Man where Blade was the special guest, I guess.
Animated Spider-Man? I haven't watched any of that.
I don't think did they have a live action Spider-Man in this decade? I think that was like a very 80s thing. Or 70s.
Yeah, I guess I should have said which animated Spider-Man was more the question I was thinking.
I can't remember, to be honest with you.
No, it's right.
Because I think I was looking that up recently, and I think it came out in 2010, which seems so recent.
But yet, that's not the most recent animated one.
No, it's not. But it just still feels more recent than I remember seeing it.
Right.
So, I don't know. But I was like, oh, Blade. It's always a oldie but goodie that he gets put in. Into, like, it's sometimes it's a nice reminder that he belongs in this Marvel universe.
I'd agree.
Because, even with the movie, so whenever people talk about, like, the first superhero movie, like the superhero movie that started it all with our big superhero movies that we all have now, it's always X-Men.
Right.
And even I will say, I mean, sometimes I'll say, Blade. But, because Blade was successful, but it wasn't marketed as a superhero film.
No, it was not.
It was marketed as a Wesley Snipes movie.
Right. I mean, I call it a
Wesley
superhero
Snipes.
film now, but yeah, it was Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes action movie.
Right, exactly.
Like Wesley Snipes is Passenger 57,
Right.
vampire killer.
Exactly. No, very
Running
true.
from the marshals.
No, very true. This time the marshals are vampires.
That's right.
Like,
Yeah.
No, that's exactly what it was like. Yeah, that's really true.
So, I mean, looking back at it now, because if we think about the Black Panther phenomenon
Mm-hmm.
and how, this whole thing with, I don't know if black superheroes will just work or if it will
Right.
sell. But then you think of, but black action heroes do sell.
Yes.
So it's interesting that
Yes.
they wouldn't pull back and say, actually, Blade technically is a superhero, and that movie did well.
Well, because I also feel that by the time that they made the sequel, the whole idea of the superhero film had started to form.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not to the extent, obviously, because we didn't have like the MCU and the DCEU that they do now, but that idea was there. So when they made Blade 2, people knew, right?
Yeah, definitely, because they had, X-Men, I think, came out a year later or a year or two later.
Right.
The Fantastic Four, terrible, but whatever. Superman.
Yeah, but yet they still were like...
Returns?
Yeah, Superman Returns, yeah. But they were like, But not the black superhero.
But they're still not marketing Blade as a superhero. They're still marketing it as Wesley Snipes' action movie.
Yeah,
Which I think it's just an interesting... why couldn't then, after this is going on, that they just kind of say, black superhero?
Yeah, I would agree.
And I feel like even now when we talk about it, we still don't put Blade... When Blade is a Marvel property, we still don't think of Blade movies as superhero movies in the past.
No, but I think it's maybe also because Marvel doesn't seem to include Blade. Because even with all the rumors that are going around about, is there going to be a Blade TV show, like, or, Netflix show, or I guess it'll be, however Disney chooses to do that, right? Or if he's going to be in the new live action Spider-Man, like, it seems sort of like you're bringing in a character from another universe almost. It doesn't seem like you're just tapping into a wider part of the Marvelverse, which is really interesting because, like, Blade was there. Like,
right.
He's been
and
there.
Blade has been, and if you think about crossover comic books, he's been in someone's gonna correct me because I don't know if he was in Avengers, but he's been in Spider-Man and X-Men and Doctor Strange.
Yes.
So it's just like, he's there.
Right, if you're gonna have a connecting thread.
The books seem to have him connecting. So
yeah, Blade would be a great like center, but.
And I know, and it's not even like it was just this movie and people forgot about Blade. Because people really liked the sequels. Like, I know people where the third Blade was their favorite movie out of all the Blades. They're like, Blade 3 was so great. And that usually does not happen. Usually it's the first one people really like.
Because Blade 3 was mad dramatic. Okay? There was so much drama. The gore got stepped up. Like, there were lives on the line. Like, yes. Blade is one of those trilogies that I can sit there and watch the entire thing and I will enjoy every single one. Blade is actually the film that also, rather the series that made me like Jessica Biel.
Yes.
Like, because
that was after her Seventh Heaven.
I found her so annoying. I couldn't stand her in interviews. I didn't like her in the other films. And I saw her in Blade and I was like, okay, she's cool. Like, that's what I felt like. Okay, all right.
But I remember being on this forum because this woman was like, I don't like superhero movies because the superheroes don't seem to go all the way. Here's this bad guy who's going to destroy the world and you don't kill him,
Yeah.
So then I
valid
said...
critique.
Yeah, and so I said, well, maybe that's why Blade is so good, because he just goes and kills the bad guy.
Right.
And then she commented and said, Blade is totally the rule that proves the exception that proves the rule, because she loved Blade. And I don't know if she realized he was a comic book hero or a superhero, but
she thought of him as a film hero or a film character.
But since I was like, he's actually a Marvel superhero, she's like, all right, this is I like him because he does kill the killer.
Yeah, I'm
a bad guy, but
I would agree with that, and I'm hoping that now that Marvel/Disney is more open to diversity, like racial diversity / trying to get that POC money, that they will maybe bring Blade in more, maybe talk about the MCU and be like, but it did, even before we had the established MCU, there was Blade. Like, I'm hoping they'll do something with that also, because it's a great character. I don't know if they will, because the big push now seems to be to make Captain Marvel the new center of the world, of like the MCU, which, I get it. Brie Larson, sorry, I can't remember. Larson, yeah. She's talented, and like, I'm all, for a female superhero being at the center. But I don't necessarily think that you have to choose. Like, I think you could do both. I think you could bring in Blade and have him as a unifying force, along with, like, if you can have aliens, why is it so odd to have a vampire? Like, I just don't think that that's reaching too far. But I also don't know if I think they're going to really do it and, like, dedicate time to the backstory and the amount of money that you need to have, like, a Marvel property do well. So,
I don't know if they'll... I don't even know if I would want that, though.
Wait, like him in the MCU or him in any form?
Him in the MCU.
See, I don't feel like Marvel separates them out, though, right? So I think if you're a Marvel character, you're in some way going to be tied to it.
I know.
So even if he was only on the Netflix shows, I still think, if nothing but a reference, he's going to be there, or like a vampire showing up, right? You know what I mean? There has to be something.
I mean, if he was on the Netflix, if it was a Netflix show, I think I would like it a little bit more than if he was in the greater MCU.
Why? Tell me.
Because I find that his character, more than other ones, could get a larger reach for people who don't like comic book movies. Superhero movies. Okay.
There's definitely a very specific tone,
right,
to the Marvel films. That's very true. They now define what a superhero film is. And
right.
Blade is definitely doesn't have to fit that, and he could not fit it and still be equally successful. Yeah, definitely. I would love that. That'd be amazing. Yeah. I'm all for that. But yeah, the tone of... Also, it's a sort of a darker...
It's darker. And
world, too.
Well, that's the thing, because Disney has this thing where the movies, they can't cuss.
Right, they have to be very family
friendly. And they
friendly.
have to be, PG or PG-13?
Yeah, which I'm trying to imagine a Blade film where he's not killing people.
Right.
And...
So, I mean, it's almost like making Punisher part of the MCU.
Right, exactly.
And not Netflix, because then you're just like, well, what's the point? What's the point of this character, but you've drastically changed this character.
But then they did it with Deadpool, and they did it with...
Deadpool is not Disney.
Logan.
And Logan's not Disney.
You're right.
Those are Fox.
You're right. Well, then maybe they just need to license Blade out, okay? And he can have his own show.
Well,
like,
Blade is what? I thought it was a Paramount? I don't think that was a Disney. I mean, I don't know who owns the property, or if anybody owns a property.
Well, no, I would assume now the rights have reverted back to Marvel. Yeah, so now he's fully Marvel. I mean, because, you're talking about, like...
Well, they're not producing any books. So they can start with that. Hi, Marvel.
Shout out to Marvel. We have a request. Blade books, please. We appreciate that. If you want to be stereotypical and start a Black History Month, we will also accept that too. Just get us some books. Thank you.
Ta-Nehisi Coates, that's right. Okay.
Right. We will accept that. Just saying. Okay. Yeah, that would be a really good starting point, actually. But, I'd also just take a show.
Yeah, I mean, I think a show would be interesting, especially if they have to, especially if the movies are going to continue to be lighter and family friendly, then
I mean, because even sorry, lighter and family than what Blade is.
Yeah,
I'd agree.
Or the Netflix shows, because the Netflix shows are the properties that can get away with not. That's how they divided it.
That's true. And then there's Cloak and Dagger on Freeform, because even Cloak and Dagger is darker than any of the
but Cloak and Dagger
movies.
still skews very young.
Oh no, it does, but I'm just saying even that's darker than anything that the films does.
Right.
Like, yeah, the films are very much that PG, family friendly, smiling. If something's dark, don't worry, we already started doing the PR for the next film. You know they come back. Like, even that they really couldn't. They didn't go too dark on it because they want you to know it's still fun. It'll be okay. Yeah. I would love to get a Blade Netflix show. I think it'd be so good.
I think it would be good. I think even if he's in the universe with the other Netflix
I was about to say
people,
if he can like beat the crap out of Danny Rand and then it's just like him.
Oh, okay, that's not gonna happen.
I can hope. I can hope. I mean, it'd be like Supernatural versus Supernatural.
But they're on the same side. Like,
but when they meet, there could be tension. Like maybe Danny Rand doesn't know what Blade is doing and he just sees him running around with the giant sword and then he thinks like he's part of the evil hand group, like, and then they fight.
No. I don't even know if that actually crosses over. It doesn't matter if it does, but
I was about to say it's not like Netflix is sticking to anything.
You just make up plots so you could get Danny Rand, the Netflix character.
I'm not saying he needs to be killed. I'm just saying beat him up a bit.
You just don't like the character.
I don't.
I mean, on the show.
Yes. I have no.
Which is fine.
I have no rebuttal for this. I
can't.
Maybe if they would have cast it, maybe if it would have been better written, maybe if it would have been like better choreography. Like
I can't say because I haven't seen it.
You're not missing anything.
I know, that's why I haven't seen it. People have told me I don't need to see it.
You don't.
But yeah, if they did Blade Netflix series like Punisher, that would be awesome.
I really
would watch that.
Oh yeah, heck yeah.
I would probably binge watch
it. Heck
yeah.
Yes, I would love that, and you could do so much just like with that world building. That would be amazing. Yeah. All right, Netflix. This is what we want. All right, Netflix Marvel, make it happen. Okay, a Blade show. That would be amazing.
And is Wesley Snipes working right now? Because if you got him back, that would be awesome too.
Yeah. If he can't be Blade, at least let him be like the mentor or something. But he needs to be somewhere in there. Like, and I'm just saying, and not like a 2-minute cameo, like a regular part, like an integral role. Yes. Now that we've given you an idea, make it happen. That's how these things work, right?
Yeah.
You pitch on a podcast and it becomes a Netflix Marvel TV show.
Make it happen.
Oh, that'd be awesome. All right. Well, okay. Anything else we want to say about the wonderful Marvel? Get it? That is Blade.
No, I think that, I mean, I have no critiques about it. Even in its most cheesy parts. Like, this is so great. I love it.
No, like, there's the part where the police first start shooting at him when he's in the hospital, and he turns around and he's like, what? He's like, what the hell do you think you're doing? It's the first time, like, he almost speaks on camera, and it's just a joke, and you burst out laughing.
Yeah.
And then he just continues fighting. You're like, yeah, okay. Yeah. Like, I love the female characters. Like, even the vampires, like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. They're all sexy or whatever. But they're, like, they're still capable. You know what I mean? Like, I like that. They're not, like, damsels to be rescued. And even when they're injured, they're still trying to do their own shit. Like, they're actually a team, which is something I really love. Like, Blade and Whistler. Like, that part when Whistler is sick and he's dying. And I felt that in my heart. Like, I was like, Whistler! Like, yeah, it's a great film. If you missed...
Also, I felt like some of it... I did forget how gross some of it was.
It is, but it's not that bad compared to today's graphic.
No, it definitely isn't. I mean, no.
Like when Steven Dorff explodes is nothing if they would have done it today.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I know, because they didn't even really show it.
No!
And I was like, because I was ready for it. I was like, oh. And then I was like, oh.
Oh, that's it? Okay. Yeah.
And he didn't, you notice he didn't get any blood.
No.
He explodes, and Blade just walks out
like,
clean, free.
I'm clean. And you're like, all right.
Like, what?
Okay. Guess that's what
I
happened.
think the grossest part was in the beginning, where the blood is coming out of the sprinkler system.
Yeah, which I feel is supposed to be equivalent to like humans bathing in champagne, but I was like, I'm not, even that sounds horrible to me. But, whatever, each his own.
Yeah. So that was probably the grossest part, and then the vampires killing the guy in the sunlight.
Oh, yeah. I do like that scene. For some reason, I think it's a really, like, beautifully shot scene.
It really was. And actually, you don't see that enough in vampire movies, I think.
No.
Of them just dying in sun.
Yeah, it's
like I feel like that really made it like, now the sun is like dying in a nuclear bomb.
Right. And like it's
there. But it was a pretty scene.
It is, because it's like right before the sun is rising, you have that like very like clean, like grayish blue light, and they just leave him out there and you're just like, oh, okay. Like it's beautiful. It's beautiful landscape, and he's gonna now explode. Like, and then he's gonna burn up.
And I don't know how I forgot this scene. Is that because they're all standing out there. I mean, they're fully clothed, and they have helmets on to protect themselves from the sun.
Yeah.
And in future vampire stuff, I always wondered. There's so much technology that you could actually go outside.
Oh, yeah, completely.
Why don't they go outside during the day?
Yes.
And I just realized that this movie is 20 years old,
ahead
almost
of
20
its
years
time.
old, made that happen.
Yeah. Right. There's so much, like, yeah, it doesn't make any sense why nowadays vampires don't. Unless, of course, you sparkle in the sun, and then everybody can see you. This is a Twilight reference. Y'all do not understand the confused look she is giving me. She knows nothing about Twilight. We will fix this because everybody should suffer through it. Everybody. Or we can just get a Blade show from Netflix and watch that. Yeah. We're going to aim for that happening. But we still might watch the first Twilight film. All right. Y'all, let us know what you would want out of a Marvel Netflix Blade show. If you have anybody else besides Wesley Snipes who should be Blade.
Oh, that might be a fun game.
Yeah.
Who should be the new Blade?
Yeah. Let us know your thoughts. I don't really know who I have in mind. I'll have to think about that. Who has the same level of like charisma and also the acting range. Blade is awesome. If you missed the viewing, you better watch it. And then watch all of the other films. Find the live action. You'll see why it's not as good. And then watch the anime. Yeah. Enjoy Blade, y'all. It's wonderful. Pick up some old comics if you can.
I think I might.
Yeah. Right?
I saw some on my Marvel Unlimited.
Ooh, nice. Oh, yeah, I need to get that. But we're not plugging Marvel Unlimited. We're plugging our Blade show. That's what we want, Marvel.
Yeah,
Marvel.
Blade show.
Yes.
Netflix.
Get on it.
PG-13 shit.
Right. Thank you. All right. Well, let us know your thoughts about Blade. Let us know your suggestions for who should play Blade. You can find me on Twitter at Tanagra, GGNOC. And where can they find you, J-Excks?
Also on Twitter.
Ooh.
Yeah. At J_X, which is EXCKS.
Excellent. For all you Android users, you can find us on Anchor and RadioPublic. And for all you iThings users, you can listen in on iTunes and Overcast. You can also listen to us while watching an excellent vampire film this week slideshow on YouTube. Also, don't forget to join us on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern until the end of October for the continuing celebration of our 6-month Halloween anniversary. So leave us a message on some platform. Let us know your thoughts. And suggest a movie or a show to watch. Thanks for joining, make choices, and please, please don't frown it up. Bye.